Rogue Cell here. We are recording from an unnamed location and parts unknown. And our guest today is, that's redacted. Redacted. We will call him Zabat. And Zabat has a long history of, I knew him back in the military, but before I knew you, you had gone through BUDS and then you joined, got out of military, joined the National Guard. We did some FRIES training. That's pretty high speed shit.
What's the FRIES training?
Hell yeah.
Fast rope insertion extraction system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, it sounds funny and elite, but you know what it really is?
They're delicious.
A thick pair of leather gloves, and you hold on to a rope.
Yeah, I did that in
gravity.
I did that in sapper school and watched somebody fall.
I fell out of a helicopter. I think that's what we heard. I got hurt. I got sent home. You were there for a while. The unit that you were with won the Presidential Unit Citation for Najaf.
Yeah.
And that is the same award that the guys who killed bin Laden won. So you guys, that was a pretty heavy fight in there. It was pretty cool to be, just kind of seen by the president and given an award for it. After you got out of the military, you went on to what was your path after that? Because I'm not really sure what I can say.
Well, being that it was a part-time gig, being in the Guard, we had several different interesting deployments, like the Hurricane Katrina thing.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Mongolia, went to Japan, trained up their special ops guys, which was unique because they had been barred from having that quote unquote offensive capability
after WW2,
after their misbehaving.
The Japanese Defense Force, right?
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't have anything to do with that, but when I was stationed in Germany and I was an MP over there, and we'd have German translators. And so I'd always be watching movies, this is like 90s. And we watching movies, Die Hard, just any action movie of the day. And my buddy Matthias is like, why are the Germans always the bad guys in American movies? I don't know, man. Probably that little genocide thing that you guys try to pull in the 40s. But so you guys ended up in Japan. So they have a police force, no army, correct?
No, they actually it's a self-defense force.
Oh, okay.
So it's all in the verbiage.
Yeah, I trained with them for a while.
Yeah,
I role played a reporter. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best time.
All of the American generals treated me like I was Op 4, but I was a neutral reporter.
So you're talking Op 4, being Op 4 opposing forces, and that makes me think of some, you do training now, and one of the times you're doing training, when was it? That was years ago, but you're like, hey, Sean, I'm coming to Portland. This is back when I was living in Portland. I'm doing this class for this company. I don't know if I can even mention them. And it was like these guys who were traveling around the world, and they're like, hey, we go to these war-torn countries, and if we were ever to be caught, we want to know what it's like to be waterboarded, and we want to know how to pick locks. And so that was the class. And you were going through the class. They need somebody to help. And so I drove around Southeast Portland, hipster capital of the world. And we had these pictures of these people. And if we saw them, we got out, we tapped them on the shoulder, we brought them into the truck, and we waterboarded them in the back seat of my Xterra with a pillowcase that I had given my wife for Mother's Day. And we caught the whole class. I remember we caught this guy. His name was Rick. And
totally normal.
He was a firefighter from Chicago. We caught him like 4 times. The guy just did not know how to blend in. He thought like trying to put a disguise on was turning his hat backwards. And we'd catch him. He just like his shoulders would fall. All right.
It's like a Superman disguise.
But the only person we didn't catch? Yeah, this guy right here. And I don't know. So talk about spycraft in that type of situation. I love hearing this stuff.
Well, that particular course was focused on E&E or SEER.
More SEER would be
survival, evasion, resistance, escape, in the military anachronism. But in this context, it was more of just the escape and evasion part. specific to like an urban setting. And so it's kind of got some contextual differences with like the military SEER. I mean, since then, soft forces have integrated more urban.
And when you say soft forces, what do you mean?
Special operations forces. Mm-hmm. So, anything attached to JSOC or USASOC or AFSOC or,
Oh, of course, I know all this stuff. I'm just saying for, listeners back home. I'm a cool guy. I'm tough.
You know it. My parents listen to this. They have no idea what you're saying.
All right. Well, you got 2 listeners.
That's true.
Yeah. So how did you blend in? How did you not get caught?
On that particular one? Really?
I mean, just generally, I mean, what would be, so if you find yourself in a city mm-hmm. and you're not really familiar with that city because you weren't living there and you know that people kind of know what you look like and who you are, how do you blend in?
Well, a lot of it is it's kind of preloaded. So before you get to this location, you're going to do an area study essentially. Mm-hmm. So, and that could be in like a military context, a big, lengthy event where you're pulling down a lot of data and really kind of doing a deep dive on the area, the people, the religions, what we would call a baseline of the particular area you're going to be working in or moving around in. Even in the context of just, Joe average guy going on a holiday somewhere or traveling.
You should do your homework.
Yeah, you absolutely should do.
If you're going to the places like that.
Right. Well, anywhere. I mean, and especially these days, it's only getting more dangerous out there. And we see this daily.
How many emergency exits are in this room?
In this room? There's only one.
But so, I do that when I go to a restaurant and they're like, you're being hyper vigilant. You have PTSD,
No, you're being responsible.
Yeah. I love it. So talking about I don't know, it's post-war because you went back to Iraq many times, right?
Yeah, I ended up in, like I was saying earlier, right? There was kind of an overlap between the Guard, since it wasn't full-time, and basically, day-to-day work, which a lot of it at the time was training. So I was instructing in firearms and tactics and driving. We had some contracts with AFSOC, the pararescue guys.
And AFSOC is what?
Air Force Special Operations. So specific.
They have special operations?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Actually, some really, really good guys. PJs are pararescue men. We were training them in tactics.
And those are the parajumpers, PJs?
Yeah.
And they like jump into like huge waves when they have to rescue somebody out in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, whatever the situation is, they've got a real broad spectrum capability as far as rescue, and, they're all trained medics. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of their focus, is the rescue aspect of it. Mm-hmm. But they're very capable as far as defensive, offensive action as well. They can attach to an SF unit. They can attach to a Delta unit. They can attach to whoever. Mm-hmm. And they actually have their own JSOC component. Mm-hmm. The 24th STS. So, yeah, and we had some other contracts with NSA, DIA, and some other.
You're telling me that the name of it is like OGA, right? Other government agencies. You just say that and people understand.
Yeah. So, I mean, OGA is other government agency. It's kind of it encompasses several agencies. It's basically the kind of wink, nod to the intelligence community.
Well, that's my thing.
3-lettered agencies.
Yeah, before we were even sitting down to record this, in my ignorance, and I know I've known you for such a long time. You're a really dear friend, but I don't want to say anything that would get you in any trouble. So I wasn't really sure what I could get away from saying. I'm like, okay, I won't say CIA, right? But you're like,
good job. Well, we're not putting my name out there, and I'm not going to put out any, OPSEC violating details or anything like that.
Yeah.
We don't say NRA,
but all Navy SEALs at this point write a book. I mean, isn't that part of their contract when they first go in? At the end, you're going to be able to write a book. Here's your percentage of royalties.
Yeah, that or they get a TV show.
Yeah. Or a YouTube channel.
Or a movie.
Yeah.
People are asking me like, what? Okay, so who are you interviewing when you're going, to wherever you're going? And I'm like, well, I'm talking to this guy I used to do some spycraft and stuff. It's like, does he have a YouTube channel? Is it this guy? Is it this guy? I'm like, no, I can't tell you if it was that guy, you know?
Well, there's several of my peers that they have a YouTube presence. They have their own channels.
Yeah.
And I'm sure.
How do they not get in trouble?
Well, like I said, it's perfectly fine to put out, once you're detached from that community, you no longer work for that entity, as long as you aren't violating your non-disclosure agreements, you're not putting out any details or anything like that, you're fine.
So I was just a dumb E5 in Germany where I worked for an MI at an MI base. I was military police though, and I didn't go through any of the information, but I needed to have. I had the top secret Q level clearance just in case I had to go back in the skiffs and shit. And when I was leaving, they were telling me like, you can't even describe anything that you might have thought was trivial to anybody, even 20 years in the future, because it might mean something to somebody else. And if you do, we may have somebody in the bushes. And that's what they said, in the bushes to get you.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh shit.
Well, that's
now I'm looking in the bushes.
Yeah, that's the safe approach to dealing with OPSEC, from their point of view. And it's going to vary from organization to organization. I mean, somebody that's working, like a nuclear courier for OST or DOE,
more acronyms.
If I expose anything about where I used to work that was secret, they would mathematically erase me.
Oh, yeah. He was a mathematician.
Yeah. In a big skiff.
It's all about the math.
What's a skiff anyway?
I don't know what it stands for. A secret place to work.
Secret KIF. I don't know, man.
Secure compartment.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
You're looking at me like I know. I have no
Isolation facility.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would guess too.
Actually, it's an object that's similar to a surfboard, but not. It's a skiff.
It's a skiff.
So, hey, man, you're looking fit. Well, I mean, what do you do? You can't be too much younger than me, and you're looking good. What have you been doing?
I'm actually older than you.
You're older than me.
I know. I checked on the internet.
Damn, he did his homework. So what are you doing?
Just, diet and exercise. I mean, that doesn't sound very exciting, but.
That's dumb. I was hoping to have like a special agent thing that I can fucking do too.
Take this. He eats washers.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, I'll start eating.
Nobody eat washers or any other hardware.
Is that like Tide Pods?
Yeah. Don't eat Tide Pods.
So 10 years ago, man.
Tide Pods really takes the weight off.
We were talking about something like your cold showers or like a special type of diet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, in general, I do kind of a keto diet. So I just basically avoid carbs.
Which is everything.
Well, yeah, it can be.
Except for steak.
Steak is safe. Eat a lot of steak.
I notice I'm having a beer. You are not.
Cruciferous veggies. Yeah, and I love beer like anyone, but it was just causing me so many issues, gut issues.
Me too, but I still do it.
So I just kind of cut it out.
So what do you do for fun, man? What have you been doing lately? Probably shoot a lot of stuff. Like curls and shit.
Yeah, I've got my own range, so I try to hit the range regularly. I teach shooting and tactics.
Pistol, shotgun, long gun?
Everything.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything that goes bang.
You don't have a Mark 19, do you? Which is a chain-fed grenade launcher.
I wish
it's on the Christmas list.
I wish I did.
So what we're doing is, together with veterans, and we're together with the VA, the 22 suicides a day type of thing. And I know that number's gone down.
I don't think they publish it like that anymore.
No, I don't think they would. But the VA's response was, and I thought it was a pretty smart response. They said, instead of like, hey, we're bringing in a specialist to your area and we're going to fix your problem for you. What they did instead was like, you guys create your own organization. We'll help fund you, give you some training. And then, and so our main focus, we started together with veterans, Northwest Oregon, and then this podcast off of it, the main focus is to reduce the number of veteran suicides in specifically rural Oregon. And so that's why we're traveling around the state and stuff. But we're doing that to be interesting. I think your story is really interesting, the stuff that you've been doing, but also to inspire, we've seen so many, I blame the media so much, I guess, but I do.
You're a member of the media.
It's still in the movies and the television shows. In the first act, if you see a veteran who's a combat vet, in the third act, he's insane. He's doing something. Or,
Yeah. And it's kind of tiresome. It's very, very predictable, as most shows are now. I pretty much can't watch anything. It's
I'm getting this to be the same way.
Yeah. Everything has such an overt bias.
Yeah.
And mostly to one side these days. And it
depends on which echo chamber you're
right. Which network you're on.
And that's what we're trying to do is I want to bridge the gap. I want to have people from all different perspectives,
right.
And we get different voices. But I don't, how do we fix that? I don't know.
If you look at the dynamic, like you and I have, for example.
Well, we've been through a lot of shit together.
Right. There's, and
you forgive my Facebook. I'm on Facebook posts because people get tired of me on Facebook.
I don't even have Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's something that they captured pretty well, I think, in Band of Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been a few others. They captured that essence of, and some of the Greek philosophers talked about it. I'm trying to remember who, but Herodotus maybe. Bleeding next to someone, staring death in the face, so to speak, that creates a unique bond that's very much
Shakespeare. Yeah,
it's very much akin to a blood bond. Or a familial bond. There's guys that go to school together and go to college together or grow up together. And you hear them all the time. Yeah, we're brothers, we're close, but they're not. Not like there's something really unique about vets that serve together. And it's demonstratable.
Mm-hmm.
There's great extremes that we will go to for each other,
mm-hmm.
even if we haven't spoken in years. And sometimes there'll be gaps of many years between us talking or hanging out.
And that's what I wanted to say is we might not talk for a couple of years, but when we do talk, it's as if no time has gone by,
Mm-hmm.
And that's I thought that's really a cool thing. And I'm glad that you brought up all the shit we've been through, because, you can go to school together and you can do this stuff together. But you and I, we had burgers in the middle of the Baghdad Zoo months after the beginning of the invasion. And this poor guy was barbecuing in the middle of the Baghdad Zoo. And he's like, hey, you guys want a burger? And we were on patrol. We were chasing around car bombs all fucking day. And then we sit down and he's making his burgers and he's telling us yeah, after the first few months, we ran out of food for the plant eaters. So we started feeding the plant eaters to the meat eaters. And then after a couple months, we don't have any more food for the meat eaters. And we're eating burgers at this point. And this is when it occurred to me, there's no cows in Baghdad.
So today you thought that you were eating python for the first time?
Yeah,
it was your second.
I think it was hippo or some shit. I don't know. Remember at zoo, the only animals left were the fucking camels. And I'm like, why are they even in the zoo?
Camels are useful.
I'm pretty sure we were eating tiger. In my mind, it's always going to be tiger.
We got tiger blood. Yeah.
The more endangered, the better. Yeah. I regret saying that.
Brad, the sad truth is if you want to save an endangered animal, you put it on the super value menu because McDonald's will never let it die. They're going to make money off of it. So what have you been doing lately, man? What kind of classes are you teaching? You're going to hacker fests? Is that the battlefield of this time now? People are still shooting at each other, but there's so much about.
It's a big part of it. And it's the information part of warfare. So what we would call intel prep of the battle space, which has been around forever, since the first war. It's just taken more forms because now, we've kind of passed what I would call kind of a singularity as far as technology, just in general, in that we have instantaneous communication anywhere in the world. We can physically be anywhere in the world in a matter of hours. every bit of archived information imaginable is available within seconds. Yeah. So that really changes the makeup of everything. Mm-hmm. And if we kind of plug that into warfare, it's a huge part of it.
Yeah, and well, also technologically, I was thinking about like when we were in Taji, one of our biggest jobs was to the guys that are mortaring us every day. We were tracking them down. What if we had drones? You know, like not like the drones that drop.
Yeah, small portable drones.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been. We wouldn't have been blown up so many times.
Yeah, and even if you go back to, and that was what 2004. Mm-hmm. Could you have even conceived of something like that back then?
No.
A drone that could fit in your hand and just you could throw it up and launch it and get real time.
And then when they pull up their little Toyotas with the PVC pipes and the welded in rack, drop a couple mortars, you could follow them to wherever they're going.
Right.
And then you know where they're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the flip side is with information being widely available, whether people want it to be or not, it is. Mm-hmm. The bad guys do this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so even what we would consider, you know, low caliber, it's not the word I'm looking for, but kind of low caliber adversaries like the Taliban.
Lower tier.
Or
something like that.
Thanks. Or Al Qaeda or somebody, you know.
Not technologically advanced.
Yeah. You know, they have this stuff. They have encrypted radios. They have
an iPhone. That's all they really need.
Yeah, they have handheld drones. They have.
You can get them at Costco for like $400.
Right.
So I always think of that scene in I was at Black Hawk Down where the kid is standing on top of the building holding up his phone.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I never seen that movie. I lived it, never seen it, but I'm sure it's good. I know the scene where he's like, "This is my safety," because everybody did that.
Everybody does that. Yeah. It's Ridley Scott. He took a few licenses in there.
Well, you know, but isn't it cool that they make movies after the shit that we did, right?
Well, it's always.
I mean, I think Jason's Bourne is probably made after you, right? I mean, you lost your memory for a while,
pretty much. Yeah. Kind of speaking of phones, I'm glad you brought that up. One of the things I kind of focus on when I teach, besides shooting skills, driving skills, things like that, the kind of kinetic side of self-defense is the whole digital side of self-defense, which is kind of ignored, but that's where you see most attacks now.
Digital side?
Yep. People. And here's the thing. It's a real small step between a digital attack and a meat space or a physical attack. Because often that digital attack is simply prepping the battle space.
Yeah, the intel that you were talking about.
Right. So, you know, you getting hacked, just to put it succinctly, could be a lead up to you being assaulted or you being, you know, your home being broken into or you being kidnapped or whatever. You being targeted for retribution for something. And we're seeing more and more of this because, you know, just kind of from a nonpartisan point of view, look at our borders. You know, look at our borders. We have a lot of people from South Central America flooding in right now, and not just South Central America. I have colleagues of mine down in the Darien Gap right now. And
I know exactly where that is, but tell everybody else.
So that is basically where the Pan American Highway stops in Panama as you go south, because there's just rugged, like kill you level jungle, mountainous jungle between there and Colombia, where the highway picks up again. And so you have this gap in the highway. And so these people coming from South America and quite often the Middle East, China, there's a lot of fighting age male Chinese coming in right now. A lot of them. Make of that what you will. But yeah, they're coming up in droves. And the point I'm getting at is you're going to have a lot more people every day in this country comfortable with doing you harm. And it's a very American thing, a very Western thing, that the golden rule is kind of in the back of everyone's head. Do unto others, you know, whether you're a believer or not. It's just something we kind of all grew up with. It's very much part of Western culture, but it's not a big part of other cultures. And so we see the jump to violence, you know, is a very small jump with certain people. And I'm not bagging on other ethnicities or other people. I'm just stating a reality.
Well, it's just how it's cultural.
Yeah. It very much is. Yeah. But the takeaway is, how does that affect your safety being someone that lives here in the United States? Your safety's going down. It's going down rapidly. And so people have this expectation of safety. They have this expectation of police are going to solve all my problems. And,
well, live rural. I lived rural for 5 years. You call the police, it takes 2 hours.
Yeah.
So you guys figure out your own stuff sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I want to talk about, like, as far as your classes go, when we were first going to war, our unit was pretty unique because instead of doing PT all the time, do push-ups and pull-ups, we started doing fireman carries. I mean, how are you going to get your guy off the battlefild and stuff?
The Army has made a lot and towards doing that now.
See, we were pioneers.
Functional fitness.
We did like self-defense, and Zabat, he still touches scars. We were like, oh, come on, dude, whatever, man. He's like, tell you what, I'm going to put my back to this wall. You guys can come at me 3 at a time and see if you touch me. And he did this for like 20 minutes, dude. So after that, we were all believers. Like, all right, we're going to use it. And all I remember from that still is go for the joints, hyperextend knees, get them like the different where you punch people where it's going to fucking hurt, and then, punch them, throat punches. But that's what I remember of what you're teaching.
What I'm getting out of this is I shouldn't make eye contact.
But you know what? We trained and we got punched and we punched each other. And I think that made it a little easier to initiate. You're talking about well, we were all born with you shouldn't do harm. But once you get punched in the face a couple of times, you're like, this is not so bad. So, if I need to do that.
Well, and that's part of what, you look at the whole YouTube universe, you see all kinds of ridiculous videos on there. And a lot of them are random people getting into fights. There's always going to be some MMA ranked fighter that somebody picked on in a bar and a fight breaks out. And they usually destroy whoever's fighting with, regardless of size or anything like that. And
it's a perishable skill, and you have to remember that too.
So it's not just a matter of they know how to fight. There's a lot of people that know how to fight. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that they're very comfortable getting hit. Mm-hmm. They're comfortable with violence because there's, we're taught there's that fight or flight response, and it really should be fight, flight, or freeze. Mm-hmm. Because most people faced with something unique and uncomfortable, they freeze.
I would say a larger proportion of people are freezing.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's normal, and it's kind of built in. Mm-hmm. It's a part of your autonomic system, and you have to train that out. Just like really good shooters, if they don't shoot for a few months, they have to go out and they have to get reps in because a big part.
We made it muscle memory, the ready ups, so we could return fire.
Well, even beyond that specifically, it's you're relaxing your autonomic nervous system into accepting the explosion that's about to happen right in front of your face, because that's what's going on. You've got a loud bang right in front of you, and your naturally healthy response to that is to flinch, is to blink. Well, to get rounds on target, you need to keep your eyes open. You need to track your sights. Mm-hmm. And so you have to, get back into the groove of shooting, and we call it stress inoculation. The same thing applies to any kind of martial skill, whether you're doing boxing or you're doing jiu-jitsu or whatever. And I'm not really a proponent of any particular system. I've trained in so many systems. I just kind of pick the stuff that seems to work best from.
Scars seem to work.
All of them.
Yeah. I remember some of that shit
Scars, it's kind of gone away. I don't know if that's even really a thing anymore, but
I've never heard of scars.
Well, I know how to hyperextend a knee.
Yeah.
Once you do that guy's not going to be fighting you anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of really good systems out there. And I tell people, I don't even care what system you're fighting, whether it's, Eastern martial arts or science-based martial arts.
I heard Kung Fu is the Dane Cook of martial arts. No, that's Archer.
I look at it this way. my first martial art was Tang Soo Do. And it was because I wanted to look like Van Damme. Because there's lots of
splits.
Yeah, I still can do the splits.
Awesome. Between buses?
No. Well, once. I could do it once. That'd probably be the end of me.
Hey, sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought. I had something else.
The biggest thing is just getting the contact, and Tang Soo Do I thought was kind of a useless skill in like actual practical fighting. It looked really cool.
Well, your fighting's evolving though.
Yeah, but
it has to evolve.
If nothing else, what I got from like Tang Soo Do in particular was grace. I learned how to move my body. I learned how to have good balance. I learned how to flow, and that counts for a lot. I'm not going to do any flying kicks on anyone pretty much ever.
You're older than I am.
Yeah. Yeah. I've actually got a groin pull right now. I'm kind of limping. So.
Oh man. Yeah, me too. It was a crazy weekend. Hey, so you and I were down in New Orleans, and it was it was the biggest natural disaster in U.S. history. Saw a lot of fucked up shit. Mm-hmm. I'm bringing that up because, I have about a month's worth of food in my garage for my family. I have, and it's a lot, but I have probably about 3 weeks to a month's worth of water in my garage too. I mean, most people just assume that it's going to be okay. I mean, what would you suggest for people who just kind of, nothing that's going to be, break the bank, but how would they prepare for? Because I see all the time, every year the New York Times puts out like there's going to be an earthquake on the West Coast. All the bridges will fall. Yeah. What would you say, like just a regular family? How do you prepare for an emergency?
Well, I mean, that's kind of a complex question, and there's no shortage of pundits online that will give you answers to that. And,
I don't mean only like physically, save the food and the water. I mean, should they do stuff like, I don't know, like get to know their politicians, or is there like volunteer in case there is an event and they can be a part of logistics? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, that stuff would fall under like civic support, and that's fine. But it always starts with the individual. What do you need to continue to exist? Mm-hmm. Keep it simple. I've got to be able to breathe. I've got to be able to drink water. I've got to be able to eat. And I need shelter. And there's varying kind of criteria that applies to each of those. I can go a few minutes without air. Depending
the rule of threes.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. So
3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that's always a good starting point. A month's supply of food for not just you, but those under your charge, under your care. So your spouse, your children, your grandchildren, whatever the case may be.
Because it could take a while before the government gets in there to help.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw bodies at gas stations the people were killed because they're fighting over food.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I would not even and I do a lot of consultation on this type of stuff. And I tell people, don't even make government rescue a part of your equation at all at this point. I think that's like using hope in your op order. Hope is not a plan.
That's the third paragraph.
And hopefully
the luck is in there too.
Hopefully the enemy dies. That's not a good plan. And that's really what you're doing with the government. And when it was a dumpster fire in Katrina in 2005, it's only gotten worse. Look at what's going on in Sudan right now.
Oh, my God.
The State Department basically told the 16,000 Americans there, good luck, you're on your own.
And that was the most recent democratic country to form on this planet, right?
I don't know.
Was it South Sudan? Are they two different countries? The only reason I know that is because my buddy Jake works for Mercy Corps, and he helps there. And they've been having issues for such a long time. And it was like he was proud of the fact that this is the most recent democratic country formed. And it's having problems, but we made it. And now it's not. And all of a sudden, it's just, okay, all this shit's going on.
Yeah. There's a lot that we could talk about what what's actually going on behind the scenes in Sudan. And there's a lot of geopolitical chess.
There's honestly not a whole lot that I can talk about on that category.
We can listen.
Yeah, and that's kind of its own rabbit trail. So we'll let that lie. But
so you talked a little bit about, if I can bring you back, about security and information that individuals can have. What can an individual do to protect themselves from these information attacks, or online specifically?
Right. So if we start with, how do you most commonly interface with the web? Because the web is essentially what we're talking about to a large degree when we're talking about digital security or information security.
Well, don't click on a link that says, hey, I bet you know who this person was who just got killed. Stuff like that. That's the latest thing. Or, the latest thing is this dog was found in your county, and just click here to find out if you know who the owner is or something like that. They're using the pets now.
Yeah, right.
I'm seeing that over and over.
Yeah. And I've been trying to tell people, like, it's a trap. Don't do it.
So a lot of these are what we would call clickjacking attacks. So they will take the form of an SMS or a text message on your phone, or an email. Those are the two most common formats.
Or their social media messages, like Facebook message, Instagram message. Yeah.
So any of these various platforms that people chat on, or I have a never fail rule for this that makes it simple. If you feel an emotional response to a message you just got, you need to take a tactical pause.
It's all about pathos.
Take a pause. Take a breath, and reevaluate, because these attacks are successful because they're designed to push an emotional button. If you feel your adrenal glands kicking in, you get that rush of adrenaline, there's a good chance that you're being attacked.
Is this you in this video? I bet you know this person. They just died. Yeah, that stuff are like, shit.
Any of those. It'll involve IRS sometimes. It'll involve banking. Oh, your account was hacked. But you're actually being hacked by responding to that.
This account was hacked, and that gets your emotional response. Like, oh, shit.
And that's why everything that comes from the IRS, I just throw it away. It's a good strategy. Yeah. Nobody do that.
Yeah, and I mean, the way to deal with that, especially if it's like your bank, and they have very convincing emails, PayPal, Amazon, you name it. Anybody that has your financial information.
Oh, no, I got one from Amazon. It's like, you have a $700 charge. I'm like... Oh,
exactly. Yeah. So you get that emotional response because you feel like you're being robbed. You always communicate with them out of band. So you find an alternative way to communicate. You don't respond via however they talk to you. So if you got an email, don't respond to that email.
But what happens when you click on that? Well, I mean, I know not to do it, and so far I haven't. They haven't outsmarted me yet. But if I were to have clicked on it, what happens?
So there's a wide variety of software-based attacks that happen. So I could take a Microsoft Word document, so a blah blah docx, right? Very common file format, or a PDF, super common. And it's fairly trivial for me to hide some code inside that in the background, so you don't see it. You click on it, and you
my head, I'm like, a watermark,
and you don't see it. You just see whatever document they're presenting for you to see with your eyes. But in the background, because it's digital media, there's depth to it. It dumps a payload onto your system. And
what does that do?
It depends. It depends on what it's written for. It could be written,
your bank.
It could be written to
passwords,
set up a remote access tool. So they basically have a backdoor into your system. So they could browse around your system while you're not there and take your information, take your files. They could access your camera. So that's where you get like the stalkerware, your microphone, things like that. And these are all pretty common attacks. And a lot of them are mitigated just by staying on top of your security updates, things like that. I always recommend people, stay away from Mac and Windows just because they're kind of a security nightmare.
You're Mac and I'm Windows.
Yeah, I was like, well, we failed. Run.
Well,
I don't even know what's left. Linux?
Yeah, I'm a Linux guy. But here's the thing. An off-the-shelf, so to speak, Linux is not necessarily going to solve all your security problems any more than Windows or Mac. Mm-hmm. It's going to have security through obscurity, and that it's a lot of viruses aren't written for Linux. And it does have a better security model in that it's open source. So the biggest issue with something like Windows or Mac and their various products is you can't trust them because it's closed source code, and Bill Gates and whoever's running Apple now, they're not trustworthy people.
What are you talking about? They're just making kids work, putting their shit together for like 30 cents a day.
Well, essentially at their core, all these companies are ad companies. So they're in the business of selling your data.
Yeah.
Collecting your data and selling it because it's a very marketable item. It's a commodity.
I envy you, man. You must not get a whole lot of scam calls and spam.
Oh, I get them all the time.
Oh, then you're not doing it.
I've got some on my phone right now.
Yeah. It's just like how
you just
how do they get the you get like these scam calls from your own area code? They just clone
because it's trivial for me to set up. In fact, I have it right now. I've got several fake numbers, so I can call various like clientele from their own area code. It's easy to set up. It's not a hard thing to do. So scammers can do that very easily. With like all the VoIP services that are out there.
I always know it's a spam call if it's coming from my area code, which is back in Kansas still.
Oh yeah, because you live here. Yeah.
Now we live here, and
if
it's 503,
when I say here, I mean Oregon. We don't know where we're at right now. We got blindfolded and brought in here in a van. So, hey, the last thing I want to talk about...
This is difficult doing the entire recording blindfolded.
How do you push the buttons?
We all have pillowcases on our heads.
Muscle memory.
It's very
high thread count.
Very awkward.
I've learned that.
Better for waterboarding. Hey, so the last thing I want to talk about is you're writing a spycraft book. When do you think you're going to be done with that? Because I want to read it, man. Definitely.
Yeah, the working title is Sink into the Shadows. My plan, my hopeful plan...
paragraph 3 of the op order.
Yeah. Is to have it done in about a month.
Wow.
So once I can actually set aside some time where I'm not distracted by 50 other things.
Like a podcast.
Like a podcast. Sorry.
I can pound out some paragraphs, but and the information's all right there, on the tip of my brain, so to speak.
I believe it. I've benefited from it. So I want to see it. I want to read it. I'd like to promote it, but isn't it like
sink into the shadows?
Counterintuitive? Is it like the opposite of what you want to do? How do you write a book and then sell it about spycraft when you're trying to be anonymous?
Pseudonym.
Just nom de plume.
Print on demand type thing? Or?
Yeah, I've got a publisher set up. It's easy.
All right, then can we share that information when you get it? And we'll put it on.
Oh yeah.
All our social.
Yeah, I'll get you the information.
Because we do have social media, and we'd like to get it out there.
Well, or on Facebook.
Social media is probably the most powerful advertising tool there is, and it's something I really miss out on because
it's got me a lot of speaking engagements, writing gigs.
I sold a lot of coffee because of social media.
Yeah. I've made dozens of dollars on.
When I say a lot, it's like hundreds of bags
of beans.
Hundreds of beans.
The biggest hazard with social media, and
it's a double-edged sword.
Well, there's the convenience factor. It's a selling point for the victim, you being the victim. It's as someone in the intelligence community, you're at the operational level, your main goal is to collect information, right, on your target. So if I can get my target to collect information on themselves and just throw it at me, I can kind of
click on a link and you can get in the back door.
Yeah, I can kind of kick back. And
the one that amazes me every time I see it is somebody is saying they're at the airport and they're flying to somewhere. Like, oh, well, that's a vacant house right now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
People have got to get their heads
when we were living
in
rural,
the security game.
They had a wildland fire page because we'd had fires there all the time. And so they would announce when they're evacuating. And so their houses all get robbed. I'm like, that's just the lowest form of shit.
That is awful.
But you just made me think of one other thing I want to talk about with you. And this is going to be kind of like hypothetical, like what you think about the future. But right now, Chat GPT, you can have them write an episode of a sitcom with Harry Potter and Batman living as roommates, right?
Right.
How is that going to go with the Nigerian prince that needs your money? I mean, how are these scams going to be written by AI?
Really good.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, this is everything. They could be individual, right? Because it's just like it's a machine doing it. It's like you can give all their information that you've stolen, give it to AI and like write the ultimate scam that this person will fall for. I mean, is that a thing that's going to happen?
Oh, I'm sure it will be. I mean,
probably is.
This whole AI thing, like any other tech, it can be used for good or it can be used for bad, just like any other.
Yeah. Well, it's just an algorithm. It's not real AI.
No,
this is
it's kind of a misnomer.
This is not open AI. This is very closed and it's just algorithms.
Right.
And from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it definitely could be used for these types of scams.
I, as an experiment, tried to see if I could put in enough information into Chat GPT for it to write the first 2 pages of my memoir.
Did it do it?
It came pretty close. I was like, I thought I was hit by a mortar and it turned out to be, or I thought I was hit by a mortar in Iraq, but it turned out to be lightning or maybe aliens. And it pumped it out. And then I just kept chatting with it. It was like therapy. It was amazing.
That there is AI therapy.
Oh yeah,
there is AI therapy right now. Yeah, and it's just
probably really good.
I think we're really at the beginning of a change, a huge change again.
Yeah,
not because I believe that Terminator is going to happen. I don't think that AI is going to be all of a sudden become sentient and say, humans are bad for this planet.
No fate,
but because of the algorithms that we want to believe. It's that bias, right? We want to believe in what we believe. And this AI is going to make an algorithm that's just going to make us fucking happy, like pigs and shit. And then they're going to get all our money. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's, I mean, the biggest thing to kind of answer your question as far as avoiding a real sophisticated attack like that would be look at the vector. How is it being delivered? Because that's kind of the choke point. It's going to be delivered via the traditional method of email or some kind of chat application. And so you really just kind of have to have a governor on, who I receive emails from normally.
Mm-hmm. I got to cut my friends list.
Well, you're just today, like, I don't even know who this is.
I have so many because I ran for mayor. I was a writer.
Right.
And so I'm like trying to build this base of a lot of people. And so I'm sure a lot of people that I'm friends with on Facebook are not real. And then, but I'm already friends with them. And so they send me this thing and they're like, dude, this is amazing. You're awesome. And, and so I interacted pretty soon. I'm sending all my money to a Nigerian prince.
True story.
You didn't make me feel any better, man.
It's like, oh man, my paranoia has kind of shot up during this interview.
Well, thank you so much for being here, man. I want to know, is there anything else that I missed that you wanted to talk about? I think we covered a lot, but I never know.
Not specifically. I mean, we could probably talk for days.
Oh, I'm sure of it. But, and we can do it again. I mean,
absolutely.
We can do it by phone too. I love this podcast. This episode is because it's just so interesting. I mean, I love talking to veteran service officers and telling people how to get the help they need. Mm-hmm. But this type of stuff is interesting because it's real. Mm-hmm. If people do listen, they can actually help themselves by, not falling for the shit. Or preparing their families for a disaster or something along those lines. So I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I'd like to do it again. Maybe we'll figure out a time that we can come back every couple months when you're not busy and talk about something specific. It'd be great.
Yeah, totally.
To another undisclosed location.
Yeah.
In a volcano.
A volcano lair.
Yeah, because this one has way too many piranhas in it. And so when the book comes out, we're going to try to put it everywhere that we can. But where can people look at what you're doing? What's your website?
They can find me at combatstudiesgroup.blogspot.com or just do a search for Combat Studies Group.
Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time.
Well, thank you.
I know you're just going to have to take these blindfolds off and tell us what exit to go into. There's only one exit, you said. So, all right.
One exit and then just walk north. Use the moss on the trees. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Together with Veterans Northwest Oregon or the Oregon Firearms Safety Coalition or the Department of Veterans Affairs. You can find us at roguecell.vet or facebook.com/groups/roguecell. If you or a loved one is experiencing thoughts of suicide, help is available. Please call 988 and press 1 for veterans. This line is answered 24/7, so there is always someone to help. And with help comes hope, and hope saves lives. The second of the 503rd Rogue Cell is produced by Brad Peitzig with support from Together with Veterans and is hosted by Sean Davis. Music provided by Michael Dean Dameron. Thank you for joining us.